I'm Linda Campbell from the Horizon Center School of Hypnotherapy. One of the questions that I get asked a lot when people look into my hypnotherapy training is, what can I earn as a hypnotherapist? So I've created this video to give you an idea of what's possible. We're going to crunch some numbers, and I'm also going to give you some ideas as to how you might figure this out for yourself. So first off, a pro tip. I really recommend that you do a Google search and find hypnotherapists in your area and figure out, call them or look on their websites and figure out what they're earning. I'm going to, again, be telling you what I earn and what's possible for a startup hypnotherapist in the area that I live in, but of course these numbers could vary depending on where you live. So I really recommend that you phone around or you do a search and look into those numbers for yourself. Now, if you're new to doing hypnotherapy, I recommend that once you've done that search and you've figured out what other people are making, that you price yourself comparatively. Now, sometimes when I say that to new hypnotherapists or to my students, they think, well, I'm brand new, I should charge less. But take something into consideration. Imagine that a potential client is doing the same search that you did, has found a bunch of hypnotherapists in your area, including you, and they're looking into what different people's prices are. And they see that one person is charging $120 per session, and another 140, and another 130, and another 100. And then they come across you and you're charging 50. What would you be thinking about somebody who charges $50 when everybody else is at least double that? You're probably going to think, that person doesn't really know what they're doing. They must be new. They don't have a whole lot of confidence. A client isn't looking for a cheap therapist. They're looking for somebody who knows what they're doing. Now, there's another reason for pricing yourself comparatively that's a little bit like, I want to get on my soapbox and do a lecture here, but I'll give you just the brief, condensed version of it. As hypnotherapists, people don't really understand what it is we do. We get lumped in with stage hypnotists and street hypnotists. They think it's party tricks or performance. We really need to make sure that we're seen as credible and, people you can turn to go for therapy, that we're seen as legitimate. If you're pricing yourself cheap because you're trying to get clients, you're bringing down the credibility of our field. So we need to, step up our credibility. We need to make sure people understand that this is a viable form of therapy. So no pricing yourself really cheap. Price yourself in comparison to the other hypnotherapists in your area. Now, if you go to do that search and you can't find any hypnotherapists, this is kind of good news because you get to be the first one, which means the market is yours. But if you're trying to figure out what to charge, look into what counselors, therapists, or alternative health practitioners are charging, because those are going to be the people that your potential client is looking at as well. So again, you want to price yourself somewhere in the range of what they're charging. Now, another little pro tip. If you specialize, let's say that you work in addiction or eating disorder, or you work with kids, an area that's underserved where people really need help, or you do hypnotherapy in a unique way. Maybe you combine it with another modality so that you're offering something that's totally different from what other people are doing. For example, one of my graduates works in acupuncture, so she has combined hypnotherapy with acupuncture, so she can charge more than an acupuncturist would charge, and more than a hypnotherapist would charge, because she's doing something different that the typical acupuncturist or hypnotherapist isn't doing. So the numbers I'm going to give you are kind of the starting rate numbers, but again, there's room for improvement to charge even more if you're doing hypnosis in a really unique way or you're serving an underserved population. And so let's do some math. Now, this is based on what I'm typically earning. Now, I do want to say I've been doing hypnotherapy since 1999, so I'm well established, got a good reputation. So we're going to look at a starting hypnotherapist on the next screen, but let's just crunch the numbers for now, see where it's possible to head. So I charge $160 per session for a regular rate session. In other words, if you're not a student or senior, that's the rate you're going to pay. If you're a student or a senior, I charge $135 per session. So if I average that out, just for the sake of doing the math, it comes to $147.50 per session. Now, I typically see 6 clients a day, 4 days a week. So if I take one of those appointments away each day because it's a free consultation and I don't charge for that, that's 5 people a day, 4 days a week, so 20 clients a week. If we multiply 20 clients times $147.50, my average rate, it comes to $29.50 a week. Now, of course, that's before any expenses. So let's cut it in half. Let's take off income tax, let's take off GST, let's take off any office expenses. That brings it down to $1,500 a week take home. But that's a week. So times that by 4 and you get $6,000 a month. So that's what I'm earning when I'm seeing 24 clients a week and doing 4 consultations during that period of time. So not bad for 4 days of 4 days of work. Another example, now this is based on the starting rate in my area of $120 a session. So again, if we crunch the numbers, if you're seeing 6 clients a day, 4 days a week, taking off 1 every day for a free consultation, therefore seeing 20 clients a week, and you multiply that by the rate of $120, that's $2,400 a week. Cut it in half to take off your expenses, and you're taking home per month $4,800, again for 4 days of work. Now, there is some room for improvement there. I'm only working 4 days a week. These stats that I'm giving you are only 4 days a week. If you wanted to work 5 days a week or 6 days a week or 7 days a week, obviously adding in more appointments, you're going to get more clients. Now, there's also ways to make money not seeing clients one-on-one. You could add in groups or workshops. You could sell products. So there's a lot of other things that you can do with your hypnotherapy skills that could earn you extra income, even passive income, on top of your seeing clients rate. And of course, if you're doing remote sessions, if you're working at home, which is now the way things are going with the pandemic, you're reducing your expenses. Since the pandemic began, I've moved my office into my home. I'm now seeing fewer people because I'm really enjoying being at home and having more time to myself, but I'm actually making roughly the same amount of money as a take home because I don't have the expenses that I had before working in an actual office. So there is some wiggle room. That number isn't necessarily the, going rate that you're going to have, but it could be the place where you could begin. Now, sometimes when I quote these numbers, people say that can't possibly be true. Well, it actually is. But you also need to keep in mind that I'm talking about a full-time practice here. It's going to take some time to be full-time. You're not going to complete your hypnotherapy training, put your shingle out, and suddenly have full-time practice clients. You're going to have to market in order to get clients. So it's going to take some time for your practice to take off. It's going to require hustle. It's going to require persistence. It's going to require that you get out there and give information to your potential clients. It's going to require that you think about who you want to work with and how you can get in touch with those people and set up opportunities to speak to them, to do presentations. You're going to be doing a lot of work for free in the beginning in order to start getting clients in the door. However, over time, that's going to change. Right now, I don't do a whole lot of marketing for clients. I have a lot of repeat clients. I have a lot of clients who refer people to me. And so I don't really have to hustle at this point. But in the beginning, keep that in mind. You're going to have to persist. You're going to have to work hard. It's going to take time to get those numbers. But I do want to say that I'm there for you. If you take my training, we do spend time in class talking about how to get clients, talking about how to specialize, how to set up your practice so that you're getting referrals, you're getting testimonials, you're getting repeat clients. So we are covering business practices that will help you to be successful. And we spend a couple days on just what do you want your practice to look like, who do you want your clients to be, and how can you contact those clients. And I also stay available for my students afterwards. My big dream for my students is that every single one of them is going to be super successful in their practice. And so I tell my students, I don't disappear when the course is over. I'm not a hologram. I don't just fade away. If you want to get together for a coffee date, let me know. I will help brainstorm with you ways that you can get more clients coming in the door. I'm available for supervision. I put on monthly supervision meetings for my students so that they can check in and get questions answered. And I also offer things like workshops and business development classes so that students who want extra information or who do want to specialize are getting information above and beyond what I'm teaching in the regular program. So I hope that answers your question. Can I make a living at this? Am I going to make any decent money? Now, if you're interested in training, let me give you a little bit of information about that. I do offer 2 programs currently. One is a self-paced program. There's 29 units of material that are available to you online, videos, audios, real hypnosis sessions, questions for you to answer so that I can track you through the program, make sure that you're learning what you need to learn. You're moving through the program at your own pace, but you submit videos and assignments to me so that I can give you feedback and assess your performance. The tuition for the self-paced program is $38.24. You can pay over 8 months at $478 per month, or you can have a 12-month payment plan that brings it down to $320 a month. If you're in the self-paced program and you want some additional support, there are extra things that you could do to get additional training or additional help. You can sit in on those monthly supervision meetings that I mentioned earlier. Those are available to current and past students, so there's kind of a mix of people who show up there. I also record the classes that I teach when I do my interactive online class. So for an extra fee, you can also watch the recorded classes so that you can see the exercises, demonstrations, and lectures that I do with the in-person students that you don't get when you're in the self-paced program. You're also welcome to sit in on those classes if your schedule opens up and you have the possibility. Sometimes people take the self-paced course because they've got a lot of other responsibilities and meeting on the weekends isn't necessarily something they can do. But I always know the itinerary of the in-person classes that I'm going to be teaching. And so if there's ever a time you want to sit in on a day or a weekend to cover a certain topic and get additional information, you're welcome at an additional fee to sit in on those classes. And of course, you can also hire me privately one-on-one to give you personalized instruction. So that's a self-paced course. The next program is the interactive online program. It's the same 29 units of material, but with this program, we meet 1 weekend a month over the course of a year to do the training via Zoom. So class time is used for practice, for demonstrations, for additional lectures, for exercises. You're breaking off into breakout rooms to hypnotize your classmates and to be hypnotized by them. So there's a lot of opportunities to really hone your skills. This program is $48.24. You can pay over 12 months at $402 a month, or you can pay over 18 months at $286 a month. Now, if you're questioning, if you want to know a little bit more about the program, I do give you the opportunity to try out the first unit for free. Just go to horizoncenterhypnotherapy.com and you'll see a sign up box to put in your email address. Once you sign up, you'll be sent a link to get into that first unit so that you can look at the videos, see the assignments, see what kinds of things we're going to be learning. And this way it gives you a little bit more information so that, again, you can make an informed decision. Now, a little bit about me. I have been a hypnotherapist since 1999, and I've taught hypnotherapy since 2004. My program has been recognized by the International Medical and Dental Hypnotherapy Association for excellence in hypnotherapy training. I do have a bachelor in education. I was a teacher prior to becoming a hypnotherapist, so I know how to teach. I know how to create lesson plans. I know how to take the protocols and the processes and techniques and break them down into easy, doable steps and explain them to you in a way that's understandable. Knowing how to do hypnotherapy does not necessarily mean that you know how to teach it. I feel blessed that I have kind of a combination of skills. I'm a good hypnotherapist and I'm also a good teacher. I'm also, as I said, really committed to helping my students be successful in their careers, and I'm willing to provide whatever is required in order to enable you to do so. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's answered some questions for you. And if you're interested in getting in touch, you can get a hold of me at horizoncenterhypnotherapy.com through the website, or info@horizoncenterhypnotherapy if you want to email. Take care. Have a lovely rest of the day.